The U.S. State Department has issued a stern warning about potential repercussions if Israel enforces a ban on the United Nations primary aid agency for Palestinians, as the humanitarian crisis in northern Gaza deepens. The warning underscores that this legislation could impact U.S. policy. This comes in the wake of a devastating Israeli airstrike on Tuesday, which local health officials say killed over 90 people, many of them civilians, in a residential building in Beit Lahia, northern Gaza. Due to restrictions, international journalists, including the BBC, are barred from entering Gaza. Reporting from Jerusalem, special correspondent Fergal Keane brings us this story, which includes disturbing images from the aftermath of the attack. The dead are being buried in Beit Lahia, victims of the relentless conflict. At any other time, expelling the primary aid agency for Palestinians would have been controversial, but in the midst of this devastation, it has ignited widespread international outrage. The recent Israeli airstrike claimed dozens of lives, many of them children, according to health officials. In Gaza City, where many have fled for safety, the scene is unthinkable. Another airstrike has left bodies lying among market stalls, and young boys are left helpless, not knowing where to turn. With nearly 2 million people displaced in Gaza, the UN warns of impending famine as people rely on UNRWA for survival essentials. But despite these dire conditions, a 3-month countdown has started to shut down the agency. It's absolutely outrageous, says one spokesperson. The very prospect of this vote was outrageous, and the fact that it happened is equally so. It sets an incredibly dangerous precedent not only for this region, but potentially worldwide. Israel claims UNRWA staff were involved in the October 7th attacks, citing accusations against 19 out of 13,000 staff members, with 9 of them subsequently fired. I spoke with one of the government MPs supporting the legislation. His resolve was unshakable. The determination to fight terrorism is unanimous, and this is a part of that effort. No matter what pressure we face from the Americans or anyone else, this bill will stand. So, you'll proceed with expelling UNRWA? I asked. He didn't hesitate. Yes, absolutely. We will not back down. We believe this bill is both just and right. Meanwhile, the situation in Gaza grows ever more desperate. We managed to connect with one of the only 2 doctors left at Kamal Adwan Hospital, where hundreds of patients flood the facility. Our situation is catastrophic, the doctor shared on a shaky phone line. We're overwhelmed with patients everywhere, and we've lost many staff. And then the line went silent. While the debate over UNRWA's future rages, the certainty of unending suffering in Gaza is inescapable. The BBC's Yolande Nell in Jerusalem gave further insights into the aftermath of the strike in northern Gaza. The U.S. State Department condemned the strike as a horrifying incident with horrifying results, acknowledging reports of child casualties. When questioned, the Israeli military stated it is investigating reports of civilian harm, but insisted that the area in northern Gaza had previously been warned for evacuation amid ongoing military operations targeting Hamas fighters. Under mounting U.S. pressure over civilian casualties, limited humanitarian aid, and the decision to expel UNRWA, tensions are rising. This vote has resonated deeply in Gaza. Local cameramen spoke with a displaced woman who voiced her despair, wondering who will now care for her sick child without UN clinics, or where they will get basic supplies like flour. Another registered refugee described the decision as another war on Palestinians. At the UN Security Council, the Israeli ambassador doubled down, alleging UNRWA's involvement with Hamas, an accusation UNRWA strongly denies. Meanwhile, the U.S. ambassador highlighted that Israel, from the American perspective, is falling short of its humanitarian commitments, setting the stage for a potential cutoff in military support if aid to Gaza does not increase within the next 2 weeks.